Thanks for present play. Brian here at Fitzpatrick's Garage, Dublin Road, Kildare. I want to show you this all new Hyundai i10. There's three different models I can show you. First one being a classic, second one being a deluxe, and third one being a deluxe plus. If you're not sure if this video is for you, the next minute will give you an idea what I'm going to go through for the rest of the video. In this video we're going to look at the classic, we're going to look at the white deluxe, and then we're going to look at the turquoise coloured deluxe plus. What we'll do is we're going to have a look at the features on the outside of each car and the features on the inside, and then we'll conclude by going for a drive in one of the cars. If you're in Ireland and there's any information you want to know about these cars, call, text, WhatsApp, whatever suits, 086 843 1945. Brian is my name and we are Fitzpatrick's Garage, Dublin Road, Kildare, a family run business in operation for almost 70 years. And I'm always happy to chat with someone on the phone just about their trade-in, or in terms of warranty, or in terms of finance, or just in terms of any information about any car that we have for sale. Or if you're watching on YouTube and you think the video is useful, please do like and subscribe, because it lets me know that the video is useful. And if I've missed anything or you want me to cover something else, just let me know in the comment section below. Starting off here with the classic then on the outside. So the first things I see in the front are in the centre of the bumper, which catch your eye, those nice daytime running lamps. And compared to the older model, the new model front bumper is much more aggressive looking, with much sharper and more interesting lines on the front. Round on the side then, the wheels are a 14-inch wheel. Behind those wheels then, you'll have things like anti-lock brakes, emergency brake assist, emergency brake distribution, things like electronic stability program. Basically things, when you slam on the anchors, so to speak, when you hit the brakes really hard, it stops the rear end of the car moving around. It also allows the wheels with the most amount of grip to take most of the braking pressure. It just means you can slam on the brakes and you still have complete control over your steering direction, even when you're fully slammed on the brakes. Makes a massive difference. The rear of the car then is similarly chic and stylish like the front, with small little features in around that C pillar there where you see i10 written, which progress up onto the top, which is a rear mounted roof spoiler. Things like this diffuser along the bottom of the bumper, again just making the car nice and aggressive looking. Moving on to the inside then, the boot is definitely bigger in this new i10 compared to its predecessor. While it's getting rare in a lot of cars, you've still got a spare wheel. That is getting so rare in vehicles at the moment. In terms of size, I'm going to show you, look how I'm sitting, look where my knees are, okay? I've got ample space, and this is how I can sit in the front of a car, okay? Just to show you, because I don't want you to think that I'm moving the seats around. There is definitely way more space in this version than there was in the last one as well. So that's the headroom. I'm 6 foot, which is about 183 centimeters, and this is, look, it's not massive, but it's actually very, very ample. Remember, this is a super mini size car. Indian adults can travel in the back of that car quite comfortably. This is brand new, so it's all covered up, but there's 3 head restraints, there's 3 3-point safety belts, and you've got ISOFIX on this side and ISOFIX on the other side, and then there's a nice grey over black material on the inside of the car. On the inside of the car, and remember, this is the entry model. Let's have a look at the specification, and again I remind you, this is the entry model. One thing even before we get into spec, the steering wheel is much nicer on these. The coating on it feels a lot thicker and it's much more comfortable to use, and the gear knob's got a nice finish on it as well. So first thing I see is 2 USB connectors instead of the one that was previously before. Heating controls are straightforward enough. If you do want air conditioning, you've got to progress up into the second and third specifications. The dash has definitely come a lot closer to the driver than it was before in this one, so this is more like a floating style dash. What I like about these is they're really simple to use. You got audio, you got phone for Bluetooth, and then after that it is so simple and straightforward. Yes, about music, you're going to play music from your USB, or you're going to play music by streaming it up through Bluetooth through the head unit. Then is going to have controls for radio and also for mobile phone, and over through here then you've got things like cruise control, and the headlights are automated. And what I mean by automated is they come on at night time, but they also go auto dip So if you meet traffic, rather than having to dip your lights, the car will automatically do it for you. And when you go back into an unlit area, rather than you having to do that, the car will automatically go to its full light setting. The driver's seat then, it's got height adjustment, which the previous model didn't have on the Classic. And then the steering wheel is also height adjustable as well. Yeah, and more safety. So you got driver's airbag, you got passenger airbag, you got airbag up here, you got airbag in the side of the seat, and all the doors have side impact protection beams for side impact. It actually has a lane keep assist as well, which means basically you can have a lane keep warning or an assist. A setting when you drift out of your lane, it's actually going to warn you, or you can have an assist which is actively moving the steering to try and keep you within the lane's dead center. The trip information is much more comprehensive than the previous model, so you got a nicer trip computer in through the center, telling you things like speed, average fuel efficiency, current settings in terms of trip A and trip B, things like the lane change warning we were talking about already, the driver's attention level, and finally then just general settings overall. And it's also got a tire pressure monitor too. And like with many cars these days, it's going to have the SOS function, so it means if you get into trouble, there's always going to be support on hand, especially in the event of an accident. So moving from Classic over to Deluxe, which is the next model up, the first thing you'll see is the alloy wheels. We'll have a better look at them in a sec. You've now got front fog lights at the front. Really, the front end of the car is very, very similar, but what really does stand out is those daytime running lights in the middle of the grille on the Deluxe, with the fog lamps down lower. The Deluxe is also going to have some extra colour coding, and it's going to have some privacy glass on the rear and parking sensors. Let's have a further look at the Deluxe. On the rear bumper then, parking sensors are going to be standard on the back of that car, and you've got those really nice then 15-inch alloy wheels. Looking down the side of the car then, privacy glass is on the rear window and also the two side rear windows. I think it works really well around that C-pillar where it all kind of looks very integrated. Door handles are the same colour as the car, and then the wing mirrors are also the same colour as the car. But one other thing on the wing mirrors is that they now house these little LED indicators as opposed to the previous model which had them in the wing. As we've seen already then, geez, the white really looks well in this car. It's so aggressive looking in white, it looks cool. Anyway, you have those nice LED daytime running lights which actually also serve as parking lights as well. And this Deluxe model, we now also have front fog lights down low. But it is important to point out, all three of these cars are going to drive identically, and they're all going to be the same in terms of safety, and they're all going to be the same in terms of size. So the three different models are really about the features that you want in a car. Things on the Deluxe then is you now have the previous model Classic had front electric windows, now we've got rear electric windows, which I lock back here, and electrics for mirrors too. And the wing mirrors are also heated as well, so when you demist your rear window, the wing mirrors will also demist, which is dead handy when you're joining a motorway. The radio's got a similar setup in the Deluxe model, however, there's also speakers in the rear of the car as well. And at an initial glance, it's very, very similar in terms of the inside. The Classic model we looked at already, except for we're going to have air conditioning down here as well, which is useful during the summer when it gets warm, but also for clearing the windscreen during the winter. And the Classic model does have an immobiliser for security, whereas this one is going to have an alarm as well, and it also has remote central locking too. There's also some extra storage in the dash here on this Deluxe model too. And another thing that Hyundai were actually always deadly at is an armrest that's integrated into the seat. That honestly, it looks like a small armrest, right? That makes, it's hard to get in the camera. That makes such a difference when you're cruising along on a long distance journey. And the other thing as well is, on this Deluxe model, you have a two-tone effect seat still, but there's a lot more grey. And there's little ridges on the material on the seat as well, whereas the other one was just flat. So if you remember, the previous model had a nice two-tone effect, but there's no contours, whereas the Deluxe has more peripheral colours on the outside, but it's also got the contour effect in the centre. Moving on to the third model then, we're on to what's called a Deluxe Plus. And one other thing I forgot to point out actually, all the cars I'm showing you have the same colour roof, whereas a black roof is always optional on any of these specifications. Deluxe Plus is absolutely identical to the Deluxe on the outside. Really, the features are around the infotainment on the inside. So the whole thing with Deluxe Plus really revolves around the screen that's in through here. So things like Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are now available on it, which means you can use Google Maps. Or similarly then, you got access now to a reverse camera, which also goes with those parking sensors. And one other very cool thing that you don't see in cars of this size normally, wireless charging, so I could just place my phone there. Even though I have the USB connector over here, I still have the wireless charging ability. Rest the phone down there and it'll just charge away. The last thing to do really is go for a drive. So actually I'm just going to use this Deluxe Plus because it happens to be the last car I was in. I always like the i10s to drive. It's a 1 litre 3-cylinder engine, so really it is a frugal car for frugal driving, but I always really enjoy driving these cars. Well, I like driving everything on the back road, I think, but I really did enjoy it because they're so small and nimble. So without even having to speed or anything like that, these are just fun driving down a back road like this. Lovely gearbox in these cars as well. It's a really nice car to change gears. And to be fair, it actually is no slouch. There's something they've changed in the steering wheel in these. It just feels, I don't know, it's bigger. Second gear. It's much bigger. It feels kind of, I don't know, it's much nicer in third gear. This is a lovely car to drive. Nice car to be in. It's well equipped. Sometimes we'll say you have to look at things and say, do I need a bigger car than this? Because if you don't, for the right side of 20 grand or under, that is well under 20 grand, you are getting a damn fine brand spanking new car. And that actually invites one more question. Why would you buy a second-hand car when you can buy a brand new car with a great level of equipment at this kind of price point? Anyway, that is the i10. If you want information on it, 086 843 1945, or if you call to the garage, just ask for Brian here at Fitzpatrick's Garage, Kildare Town. Like we're saying, if you want to know anything, 086 843 1945, call, text, WhatsApp, whatever suits, and I'll be happy to go through everything with you. Or if you're watching on YouTube, please do like and subscribe. Just let me know the video is useful, and if not, let me know what else I can do better. So thanks for taking time to watch.